There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all.
This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Tonight, superheroes back in the spotlight and legal. Who is the screenslaver? And Jack could have totally taken that raccoon. And I guess if you don't know by now, this is going to be a Incredibles 2 spoiler-filled podcast. Capes and Lunatics starts right now. Right now. Hello. Welcome to the Capes and Lunatics Incredibles 2 spoiler-filled review. I am Phil, and sitting in a dark room somewhere. It's like in the back of a strip club. Mistress of Mayhem herself.
Hey guys, it's Lilith.
And Dad, disciplinarian. What's the secret of the universe?
Charlie, the Professor Essence. That's me. Gotta have my honorific, man.
So, I mean, we were talking about it for a couple minutes, Charlie, but Lilith, do you like Incredibles 2?
Yeah, it was fine. Okay, so for me, it wasn't worth the 14-year wait. That's like literally like almost half my life. So like.
But Samuel L. Jackson apologized for it.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did everybody get that thing at the for the movie about no?
Actually, I didn't. The only thing we didn't even have previews. We had the short that intro to the movie, and that was it. Because it was a long movie.
It's an hour and 55 minutes. That's
well, for a kids movie, I was surprised that
there was no kids.
Full 2 hours.
Well, I went at like 9:35, but yeah, there were no kids. There was like literally nobody. Everybody was drinking, so I don't think anybody was under the age of 19.
Well, that's we went at 10. It may have been the time because we went at 10:50 this morning, and I think everybody except for maybe one group had like at least one kid with them, if not more.
Yeah.
Yes. I was the guy the guards were watching because I went without a kid. So, hey, there's a guy without kids. Went to the kids movie. What's he up to? Keep an eye on him.
But it's Pixar. They expect it. You're fine.
Yes.
Pixar's like the only acceptable one. You can't do that with straight Disney movies. You just can't.
Can we just take a moment and talk about the short?
Yeah.
Short, first of all, but it was Japanese, so you know.
I don't know Korean.
Like
was it Japanese or Korean? I thought they were a Korean couple. For some reason, I thought Bao was Korean. Yeah.
Either way, it's some kind of Asian. So, you know, they have their weird things.
Yes. Well, you know, it was interesting because, like, it was fun until she ate him.
Yes.
Everybody
in my audience was like, what?
Yeah. But then you see that it was all this sad dream of the little dumpling, her little Bao, because you know she called her baby a Bao, you know, my little Bao, and then he grew up and married some white lady.
Yeah, exactly.
Married some blonde, yeah.
Yeah, but hey, she can make a dumpling. We saw at the end the son can't handle a dumpling, but the daughter-in-law.
You better know how to do something when you're married into a different culture. You better do your research.
Oh yeah, you gotta study, man. You gotta do the research. But she did. She was a hardworking wife.
Nimble-fingered white lady. Yep.
There you go, man.
It's like any woman who marries Ben or Tristan's gonna have to know their nerd pop culture.
Oh yes. Well, you know, fortunately that'll be easy because nerd culture is all culture now.
It's very yeah. It's diffused now.
Yeah, I don't want to get completely on an off topic, but did anyone hear what did Chris Hardwick do?
His ex-girlfriend wrote a what was it, like a blog or something? She wrote something. She didn't. Yeah, she didn't come out and say his name, but just from the timing and whatever, people figured out it was Hardwick. She's saying there was a lot of emotional and Did she actually say like sexual assault or something?
I didn't read it because.
Yeah.
But I mean, but it's weird because she, you know, she's like, oh, why I would want to drink and he wouldn't want me to drink, and I'm thinking, well, that might be because isn't he a recovering alcoholic and maybe he didn't want alcohol in the house?
Well, that's entirely possible, but he's also... Here's what I can tell you, just as a guy who listened to the Nerdist podcast for a little while, I really found when he's unfiltered, he is really bullying and belligerent and kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
I guess you never listened to Idiot before you listen to Nerdist, so that's not a surprise to me.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, I mean, you think he... First off, I always knew he was too good looking to be a real nerd. He was... I'm going to judge his book by his cover. It's like, you're not a nerd. You were clearly, you know, maybe a somewhat popular artsy kid in high school. Don't lie.
It's something Charlie Esser would like. Let me just put it to you that way.
No, I just but I remember when he was interviewing the actress who played Lady Sif, and there was a lot of stuff he said in that was a little like, dude, no, you know. But yeah, that was a while ago. That was many years ago. That was when Lady Sif was a character in the MCU.
All right, back to the Incredibles. All right, Lilith, you said it wasn't worth the 14-year wait.
It really wasn't. Okay, but like I get that Pixar was doing other things, but now that they're wrapping up Toy Story with that fourth movie, I feel like Incredibles is going to be the next like epic, keep going.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Because weren't
So
they
I look forward to the next movie. It should be a shorter wait. So
yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, they were speculating it might like do like some big
this
huge
this
number.
originally was supposed to be released in 2019. So
Hmm.
that was the original date. It was like June whatever 2019.
Yeah, and they said we can't wait 15 years.
That's too much. That's too much.
Well, that would be pushing it. It would be a decade and a half.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it originally, the first one when it first came out. I came to it like years later, but I know. But no, I think I might have liked this one even a little better just because the pacing was a little quicker.
Yeah.
So as a kid who grew up with this, I have to say that like there's a video game where you can play as Underminer. It came out in like 2006.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really disappointed with Underminer.
There's
It was like 2 minutes.
there's a new one. There's a new game out now. It just came out yesterday. It's Lego Incredibles.
I'm kind of over the Lego thing.
Luca's in there playing. Luca's in there playing it right now.
Yeah, well, you know, you're not the target audience, Lilith.
Nope.
You're too
Yeah,
old for that.
because
sort of
it's stuff
thing.
from like both movies. Because I think the last I saw, he was trying to stop that the Underminer's
Give me
machine.
my
You know, we
first
see it.
person shooters.
Yeah.
Give me my digital update remake of freaking GoldenEye. Come on, Nintendo.
Yes. But what I can tell you is they never used John Ratzenberger as much as they could.
But he is an integral part of Pixar.
Yeah, they always put
And
him
all
in
the
there.
movies. Yeah.
But you know, John Ratzenberger, he's kind of like the Stan Lee of Pixar, where you always know he's going to get his shot, and he's always going to have his shot in a Pixar film because it won't be a Pixar film without John Ratzenberger. It's like it's not an MCU film without something with you know, with I guarantee you, if John Ratzenberger ever passes away, every single future Pixar movie will have a scene from Cheers in it. I guarantee you. You're just gonna have something going on, someone on the background will be on TV, and you'll just say, "Hey, Normie," you know. Oh, what you gotta understand is that Cliff Clavin is my mentor, is my spirit animal.
I think that it was kind of a bold move, though, for, you know, a sequel that happened 14 years ago to pick up literally immediately after. I thought that was pretty, like, ballsy.
No time passed, man. It was like right to that Underminers thing, yeah.
Like, I'm old enough to drink now, plus some. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember, Lilith, for like a lot of, so for example, my kids, we may watch The Incredibles on our DVR and then go see the movie. So it's just a 4-hour extravaganza. And as of next year, that's how it's going to be blocked.
And plus it's animation too. You don't have to worry about like actors aging and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it's going to be like Back to the Future, where you can watch 1, 2, and 3, and it's just one continuous film. You know, and that's how I expect Incredibles to be from now on. There's just going to be one continuous film.
So were those the same?
I think there's definitely going to be a time jump in the next one because I mean we're still technically stuck in like the late 60s.
Well, actually, Fangirl has a whole theory on this, and that it actually takes place in the not too distant future. It's not actually
okay, but according to the actual timeline of the movies, it's the late 60s.
Except there's actual other problems with where when you do see that 1968 date on that newspaper in the first one, it's actually a faked newspaper.
But
and
if you thought when the original villains were killed in the marriage of the Incredibles in the Age of Violet, it still kind of works out.
Yeah. I don't know. We won't go into it, but they didn't have. Although actually they actually did have new math in the 60s. So that even though people, because they're saying it's Common Core, but actually since they
new
say
math
it is
actually something
math,
a little different than it
actually is the new math, which was popularized from the 1960s to the 70s. And made parents go until someone came up with Common Core. And they're like, "What? This isn't the new math. This is some other kind of math."
Well, I think it's like the Batman the Animated Series thing, where like they throw in old stuff in it. Like
I mean, it's a little interclassic, but not too much because in the first one, Frozone does use high karate, which was the 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
So.
High karate was around
Easter eggs that are telling you this is definitely a retro superhero story.
Well. Or just that in this world, the thematics and architectural styles have remained similar since the 60s, which is a whole other thing. It's like when you watch the Venture Brothers, that takes place in the modern era, but still all of the
has design, like the 80s aesthetics, yeah.
But also look at the villain, what's the name of the villain in this one?
Are you talking about Screenslaver?
Screenslaver, yes, thank you. About the whole problem about society's all obsessed with their screens now. That's a very modern thing.
Yes, and then, they threw their politics in there. Their modern, the modern politics. There was a little mudslinging, as you do.
Screensavers didn't exist in the 60s, so the pun of his name would have no meaning, or her name. Spoiler.
Did everybody figure that out before the review?
Yeah, a long time ago. I'm just like, as soon as they said their parents died and he took one side, I was like, okay. Thanks for that.
When they said the parents were dead, I was like, it's got to be one of them. And then I was pretty sure it was her because she was the tech.
Because she's emo.
Well,
and she's a techie.
She's the tech genius. Plus, once she threw out the line, did she say I'm the genius behind the genius? I'm like, oh, it's her.
Yeah.
Well, it
was very easy foreshadowing.
To be honest with you, I wasn't sure if it was her or if it was both of them.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, okay, maybe. Because, maybe he comes up with the plan and she, enacts the tech and
What I will say is that this has something of a rhyme to the original, in that the villain is a villain obsessed with supers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And in both cases, it's about a villain obsessed with supers for some reason. And essentially what you have is in the two, I won't say antagonists, but in what was his name? Oh, Dev.
Syndrome? Oh, Dev. Are you talking about the brother?
The brother and the sister. What?
His name is Wynn. I forgot her name already.
Yeah, Wynn's sister.
So terrible.
Yeah.
Especially since they're making a point about how women aren't.
Yeah.
Well, at least the woman forgot her name too.
Yeah.
But
Evelyn. Her name was Evelyn.
Evelyn, yeah, Wynn and Evelyn. But I'm trying to remember what their last name was because there was sort of a pun in their name.
Dev. It was Dever.
Dever. Oh yeah, because this is Wynn Dever.
Dever, yeah, Wynn.
And Ev Dever. Yeah. Or Evelyn Dever. There we go. Evelyn Dever and Wynn Dever as an Endeavor. So. Yeah. But she's the evil Endeavor.
Evelyn. Yes. Exactly.
He's the evil Endeavor. Yes. So there we go. That's how you can tell who's the villain.
But there were a couple callbacks to the first movie. Like, the first movie was Mr. Incredible taking the trip for this mission, and then this movie was Elastigirl taking the trip for the superhero mission.
And there is this very strong one of the things I think might have been a reason why they said we've got to move this up is because of the the notability of Wonder Woman. Because there's this very strong Wonder Woman vibe. We have all of these female characters who are in awe of Elastigirl because she was the superheroine. She was the triumvirate. She was the third of the Trinity, that everyone recognized and saw themselves and wanted to be. And we see that, of course, with Void, who's totally starstruck. But one thing I do want to mention, because I do feel that it supports my long-held fan theory, that there is an order to this universe and only righteous, good people get superpowers.
Okay.
Because there are no non-tech supervillains that we ever see. Now, we know from Syndrome that he says that there are superheroes who are active who don't have powers. So there are Batman and Iron Man in this universe. But that to actually have superpowers, you clearly have to have some sort of righteousness to you. There's some sort of a Samsonian quality to it, where you have to be on the side of goodness in order to gain the strength. And if you falter from that path, you may actually lose those abilities. Maybe an argument. And because we see there are no super villains for her to recruit. She only recruits superheroes. Bringing them out of the shadows. So it's neat to note that we didn't get a if they were going to have that there were super villains in this universe, like villains with superpowers, then we might have actually seen, some.
That might be 3 though. Now that the supers are out.
Well, yeah. Well, and for what it's worth, it's pretty telling that once the supers showed up, that the Underminer comes out of hiding as well.
Mm-hmm. The Batman.
Yeah. Although it's interesting to ask whether or not the Underminer was an old villain that they're re-encountering, or
I believe they said that, or maybe that came with the game. I forget, but I think that is canon.
Oh, okay, yeah. I really got to get the comic books.
Yeah, they were pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Did they ever go into how anyone got their powers?
I think there was one origin story at the tail end of that original comic book run.
Okay, because I assume the kids were born with theirs, but
yeah, they were born with theirs.
Yeah. Well, I know that because I've only read the Wikipedia entrance on it, and it was the idea. I think it was it Gazer Beam that could see the future and saw his own death, and he was sending messages after his death to Frozone and Mr. Incredible about things they had to solve before some great apocalypse. I thought it was Gazer Beam because everyone loves Gazer Beam. He is the Boba Fett.
It's like salsa.
What?
Seinfeld reference. I said it's so fun to say, like salsa.
Yes. But I think it was. I couldn't. But I know that was the plot of it. Because I only read the Wikipedia entrance, and I think there was some implication that there might have been superpowered villains in that. But because I've never read it, I don't know. There was a question about whether Mirage had any powers or not, or if she was just really athletic and lithe.
But
I always figured she did have powers; they just weren't that great.
Yeah.
There's or maybe she was like Kim Possible. I just couldn't tell what they were going for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but of course, as we say, Kim Possible is just a basic average girl.
In her universe.
Yeah, but in that universe, and so maybe people are more athletic. I mean, obviously, a pizza man can fight Elastigirl.
Was that their way of getting in Pizza Express? Because the first movie didn't have it. It's the only Pixar movie not to have it, and I think that's literally the only pizza company in the universe. So I didn't see the truck, so maybe that is the Pizza Express reference.
Maybe
they were explaining that.
Did we get our A133 reference too?
Yes, it was on the movie that they go to at the end.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was because it was like Dementia 13, and then it was Dementia 1.
Yeah, okay.
Because they had 2 different names on the sign. So so that was so they did have that in there. Had their Ratzenberger. So the Pizza Planet or Pizza Express or whatever it's called.
Pizza Planet Express, is not in the first movie simply because Brad Bird forgot. It was just so many things going on.
Oh, there's so many things he was supposed to put in it. It's like, I forgot. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the reason why they it had taken so long is because of the modeling for humans. It was like one of the first ones, with the hair movement and stuff, and so a lot of things kept getting back and forth, and they just forgot about that one. So.
Although, darn man, if you saw like the Winnie the Pooh or the Grinch preview before this, sorry, not Winnie the Pooh, the Christopher Robin film before this.
I saw both previews. Yeah.
With Hallie Atwell, yay!
Oh yeah, I remember. I was like, "Is that her?"
Yeah, that's Hallie Atwell. I'll know that
Wouldn't
lady.
She the mom?
She's the mom,
of course.
Well, not for nothing, She's gonna be the grandmom in Captain Marvel.
She could have been the voice of Kanga for all I know. I don't know.
Well, she might also be the voice of Kanga. And they may make Benedict Cumberbatch the voice of Rue, which would be so appropriate. Not Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm thinking the Grinch. Benedict Cumberbatch is the Grinch.
There's only Jim Carrey.
What? No.
There's only Jim Carrey. Sorry.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch does better than Jim Carrey. I'm gonna say it.
Fight them, nerds! Get them, nerds!
You fight me, nerds!
Let it go! Never.
But well, no, I mean, people are always like with that first Incredibles movie. It's like, oh, this is your like your good Fantastic Four movie, and we got the Underminer. So maybe if they want to do Powers next, I think if they want to ramp it up for a third movie, you got to do like a villain group. Get our
well, she does have like she said, like Elastigirl said, there's a lot we don't know about her.
Yes.
And I forget, like she had an evil boyfriend that was a villain, so maybe she had more than one that was an evil villain, and that's how we kind of build on it. Because I do find Elastigirl more
boyfriend who was a villain.
Yeah, Elastigirl. Yeah.
Oh, Elastigirl had a boyfriend villain.
Yeah.
When did she say that?
It's in the first movie. I think it might be a drop plot point. One of those things, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
I know she said she had a mohawk in this.
No, but like the first movie, it's kind of implied. A couple of things changed from the first two drafts. Yeah, so there's a lot we can mine from Elastigirl, and I think that would be fun.
Oh yeah, well that would be great, and and for what it's worth, this supervillain did not get sucked into a plane engine.
Oh yeah, she's alive.
I still say Syndrome survived. He has a force field, and that plane exploded. He got sucked into the engine, and that plane exploded, killing millions or hundreds. So, unless that was like his robot drone plane he was flying to, I don't know.
Well, again, if they do a team next movie, maybe it's the two of them and like
movie,
2 or 3 more.
Nobody's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I would love to see Syndrome and Screenslaver, two tech geniuses get together. Maybe Mirage breaks them out. We'll see if she actually decides to stay on the path of the straight and narrow. There was an interesting film theory about Mirage suggesting that that The Incredibles was actually a prequel to Meet the Robinsons. But
I saw that one before.
Yeah, or maybe that. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it was cool. Or that. Yeah, I forget what it was. Anyway, but it was cool. Anyway, but back to this movie. Here's a thing that struck me at the very end of the film. Maybe you saw it, Lilith. What Jack was wearing in the car at the very end. Did you notice they sort of put Jack in a skirt?
It's a kilt.
Well, that was actually a question I was wondering there.
Was
we
it?
Always assumed Jack was a boy. But then we started wondering, was it ever actually explicitly said Jack is a boy?
It is.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it is. Oh, and Jack's the short in the first Incredibles DVD. Yeah.
Oh, they actually say he is a boy. Okay.
But Jack is my favorite. I love the whole baby has, children have unlimited potential. I love that kind of like, little reference. I thought that was very cute.
Yes, but he is she is a shapeshifter, so who knows what they'll decide on.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm trying to say they because Jack also has the power of multiplicity.
I'm trying to remember what it looked like. Are you sure it was a skirt, or sure it wasn't like a blanket, maybe, or something?
like I said, I'll know when the rewatch would be interesting to rewatch it, but because Ben, not that interested in superheroes. If it's not a Marvel, you don't care.
Better get a paternity test, jeez.
Oh
You
no!
know, kids go through phases. It's fine. He'll come back.
He has his own. He has his own nerdery. You know, my dad loved cowboy novels. You know, I was
like the Louis ones.
What? I'm sorry. What?
The Louis cowboy ones. I'm trying to think of.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yes, and yes, exactly. You know, young men's novels of the 1930s and 40s when he was growing up. You know, and he loved those.
Not for nothing. They're not bad.
Yeah. Well, you know. Yeah, but yeah, and he was a big fan of all of the cowboy novels, and that was his nerdery. That was his nerdery at the time. You know. But you know, it was not a nerdery that ever spoke to me. Although I will say I do have some attraction to Western themes. But I also
Westworld doesn't count.
I'm sorry, what?
Westworld doesn't count.
No, I'm not a big fan of Westworld, actually.
Me neither.
I mean, it's robots. It's basically Jurassic Park with robots.
Naked robots, isn't it?
Well, it's HBO.
The HBO one, yeah. Though those dinosaurs were naked too. I'm just saying, Philip. You know, it's.
What you're staring at? Never mind.
Anyway,
and they were all chicks, man. They were all chicks.
So how do you guys feel about the portrayal of Mr. Incredible in his role of Mr. Mom?
It was a great take on the Mr. Mom dynamic, especially as we don't have a real moment of failure for him. We have a moment of heavy stress and missteps, but then we also see him freaking take the book and study it and then go back and says, okay, I figured out new math.
Well, yeah, of course he's going to be the one to figure it out. He was the one working for the insurance company. I'm sure, you know, he must have a head for numbers if he, you know.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Oh, you can see he has his old coffee mug from the insurance agency.
Yes.
You know, the point is that everyone thinks of Mr. Incredible as a big dumb guy because he is very big. And of course, when you're a big dumb guy, people think you're like Brick. But you know, that was actually an interesting thing. Speaking of Brick, that I thought was interesting, and speaking again of Jack, is there was a very diverse group of heroes we saw.
Old, young, yeah.
Old, young.
Reflux.
Yeah, reflux. And
that's gonna be my superpower when I'm 60.
That was an awesome, although it was like an awesome power. Basically lava breathing.
I was gonna say I knew before he even did it. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like fire. He's gonna like breathe fire or something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was just gonna spit acid like Zeitgeist or something, but no, he just.
Oh no, it had to be visual.
Yeah, it was
flaming fire, lava.
Yeah. These were not B team superheroes, as it turned out. These were all real high end superheroes, and but like only one actual. Well, I won't say only one actual white guy. Because Screech might have been white too, though Screech was clearly maybe on the spectrum of LGBTQA. I think that's all of them.
I know. I feel the same way sometimes.
You know, it's but I thought that was great that there was it made me sad a bit that they all wound up becoming, you know, mind controlled. But for what it's worth, all the main heroes got mind controlled too. So it wasn't like they were mind controlled because they were, you know, lesser heroes. Yeah, they were mind controlled because this person is really good at mind controlling people. Because what's the greatest super villain power, Phil?
Mind control.
Money.
Hypnosis.
Money.
But that's the thing. It's all hypnosis. It is all that little clock, you know, and spinning dials.
But no, Luca loved the movie. But my 5-year-old son, his first comment. You know what his first comment was?
What?
Those goggles were creepy.
Yeah, well, they were.
Well, goggles in general are creepy. Aviator goggles, any kind of goggles. Snowboard goggles are all creepy. So.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, I
like the Elastigirl.
I live all of my life with goggles, so
I like the Elastigirl fake out though. While she was under the mind control, you know, started kissing him, so he thought, "Oh, I broke through," and then she like slapped him on his face.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jack broke her out of it. That was the best.
Well, because Jack has telekinesis.
Oh my lord, he has like pin particles too. He got all big at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Demon Baby was my favorite because that's how I see all babies. But
I know Jack is, and that's the whole thing with Jack has unlimited potential, and that may actually be a thing in the third.
Num Num Cookies. That is,
which is that two supers have never had a kid together. But you know what I really
want to see?
Are we
doing the Sky High thing?
Well, I don't know but that's the thing. I don't know if two supers have ever had a kid together.
Yeah, but the first two they only have one power apiece.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Well, when you do more than two.
Well, yeah, no, wait. Well,
you keep building it up in the uterus. You know what I'm saying? And then bang.
Well, Violet kind of has two. She has the force field and invisibility.
Well, invisibility can technically be considered part of the force field thing.
True.
Well, only because Sue Storm did that. Only because people felt invisibility was too passive a power. So they're like, fine, I'll give her force fields too. And for what it's worth, I mean, and yes, you only have the one, but although both of them are real Omega level people, because they're little kids with insane levels of power. You look at Jack, who is moving, faster than a camera can pick up.
Dash.
Dash. What did I call him?
Jack. You call him Jack.
Jack. Okay, yeah, well, Jack too. And so you do have these people who have these amazing powers, and Jack is just possibly, and although Edna does say when they're younger, a lot of heroes do have multiple powers when they first.
She's like, this is an insane case.
Yeah, but then again, like Phil said, you said it's the third one in the set, and third time's the charm.
I just wonder if maybe his power is he can have whatever power he wants.
Well, that's
cool. Very Twilight, Philip. That's very Twilight.
Oh, well, actually, no. There actually are characters in many comic books that do have that kind of powers. Ultraman in the Marvel comics is basically that.
I mean, I don't think he used more than one at a time, so it's maybe
Oh, he's the Peter. He's the Peter from Heroes. Okay, I got you.
Okay, yeah, but anyway, so however you want to slice it, it's a very interesting thing, and it may be something that comes up later where Jack's powers are unstable, and you maybe even have that whole Franklin Richards issue with Jack. How do we?
That could be very possible, actually. Yeah.
How do we deal with the fact that and what if Jack does turn evil? There's never been an evil super before.
And I mean, look at the level of power he has, and he's an infant. If they do a time jump, I mean, by the time he's a toddler or a little older, I mean, his powers might even increase.
Oh, okay. Pixar, half cost, half price for this one. Instead of nothing, it's less than nothing. Incredibles 3. Syndrome is alive, but he's all Deadpooled up.
And he kidnaps Jack and brainwashes him.
Well, no. He breaks out Screenslaver with the help of her brother because, hey, she's still my sister. And his thing is, listen to me, Jack has that unlimited potential, because we saw that at the end of the first Incredibles, where he's like, I'll raise him as my own. I'm going to be supportive and loving to him, and maybe I'll let him be my sidekick. And now he's like, if we can make him one of us, if we can make him the villain,
join the dark side, Jack.
Yeah, if Jack can join the dark side, and we already know Jack has the dark side, and what is the key? Well, but we know that the key, cookies, exactly.
Sugar is bad. I loved it. Sugar is bad. It brings out the demon baby. I agree.
Yeah, but it's like any solution stemming from cookies always results in the demon baby. And that was Edna Mode was fantastic in this, and
her own short.
What?
Her own short.
Yeah, she doesn't have one.
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of.
We are fine, Robert. Good night.
Yes. I want to know who that Italian designer who's her arch nemesis is.
Oh yeah.
Probably a reference to Donatello.
There's your short right there.
Well, but you know what? But if we get them in 3, I design for villains.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it is, you know, it's an interesting, I think there's a lot of potential. I will not say it wasn't worth the 14-year wait, because I have no idea when these films come out anyway. So I was like, oh, it's a show I like.
I mean, it was literally my childhood. Like this is like one of the, like, it goes Toy Story and then Incredibles, like if you're a Pixar nerd for most people. So
yeah.
Like, and it was just so weird that we were just like, okay, we're really like, Toy Story has four, 3 sequels. Where is Incredibles 2? Like the whole time. It's like Shrek has 4 movies. Where's the other Incredibles movie?
It was weird that, yeah, it did take them that long, because I would have thought it was a fairly popular franchise. But you know what? I think what it was is I think The Incredibles was not as popular as...
Yeah, it took a minute for it to become cult status. I will agree with that.
And for what it's worth, we don't have a WALL-E 2 yet.
We don't need a WALL-E 2.
No, we don't need a WALL-E 2. And there might have been a lot of feeling that says, we don't need an Incredibles 2. We told the story of The Incredibles.
Well, no, that's true. They wouldn't have left it on Underminer. It was always a plan for a sequel. They just literally didn't have the time.
What do you think now, too, with like the success of like all the Marvel movies and stuff? They're like, oh, hey, this is the time. We need to strike now.
Wait, didn't what's the one with the big puffy dude get a number 2?
Big Hero 6?
Yeah. Or he has a cartoon or something, right?
Yeah, he has a cartoon.
Yeah, there's a series on Disney now.
No, they did not have a cartoon.
No, it was just the one movie, and now they just like started the series on Disney. It's like, I don't know, it's like 4th or 5th episode, yeah.
Oh, wait, there is an Incredibles series on Disney?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to have to watch that then. Got to get a viewing club going. I thought there was an Incredibles cartoon.
Yeah, it just started a couple. Yeah, okay. It was weird. It was weird. Like months ago, they put on the first 2, first episode or 2, and then they waited like months and months, and that it just like started.
You want some Incredibles? Here's a taste.
Is it canonical or is it like?
Yeah. It takes place out. It takes place like after the movie. Yeah.
After this movie?
Like, wait, the Big Hero 6?
No, Incredibles.
Oh, no. Big Hero. I'm sorry. Big Hero 6 has.
Oh, yeah. No, Big Hero 6 has a cartoon.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think I would know if there was an Incredibles.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, I do know there's a Big Hero 6 cartoon going on. Well, you know, and for what it's worth, if you saw the Ralph...
Wreck-It Ralph! Yeah.
What?
Breaks the internet. Yeah, I agree. It should be Rex.
Yeah, should it be Rex? But wouldn't Rex be better? It's like, yes, it would.
Just because you lampshade it doesn't make it clever writing, okay?
Exactly. We all know that, Lilith. But what I will say about it is you do have this item about the Disney domination of popular culture. Both in the fact when he says, okay, when Vanellope says, I want something that's super exciting and mind-blowing. And actually, at first I thought she was going to pull up a porn site because of the keyword she used. Something super stimulating and exciting. And, you know, it's like, they're like, oh, but there's only one response, and they go to the Disney site. You know,
and she was just as disappointed as I was.
Well, at princesses, not at stormtroopers and superheroes. Because then she looks over and sees the Marvel board. Ooh,
oh yeah, I see Iron Man fly by.
Yeah. You know.
Wreck-It Ralph is this generation's Roger Rabbit. Congratulations.
But I will tell you that one thing I'll think about that film is I know it's going to be a redemption of princesses at the end of it. It's going to be like, what is it, Shrek the Third, where all the princesses like have crazy superpowers, and Snow White calls down a swarm of swallows on the bad guys to peck their eyes out. That's cool, man. I'm sorry. I had such
Shrek universe is very awesome. The reason why it spoke to so many people because people were tired of Disney at the time.
Yes. Well, I think this will be Disney's moment to do that, where the princesses are like, you know, we have magic hands and magic hair. We are not going to take you. We'll actually get a Medusa that actually works. It'll be great.
Don't forget Cusco. He is a Disney princess as far as I'm concerned.
I'm gonna let Cusco be a Disney princess. I got no problem with that.
But I think the kids got more to do in this movie too.
Well, obviously, I think it was definitely aimed towards like getting the younger viewers into this Incredibles universe.
Well, yeah, you gotta get the new younger kids because, like you said, you were a kid when the first one came out.
Yeah, although I have to say, the whole mind wiping of
that was very Men in Black, very meta because that was Tommy Lee. Oh wait, who was that?
It was the guy who I think it was the guy who they gave the credit in memory of at the end because it was a different guy doing the voice this one.
Oh.
So it was a Tommy Lee. It was
the character looked like Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, and it was a guy who sounded enough like Tommy Lee Jones without actually being Tommy Lee Jones. But I think they got Raymond's brother to do it in this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it sounded like the guy who played Raymond's brother, whose name I'm forgetting, the tall one.
I know who you're talking
Garrett.
about. Everybody loves. Yeah. Brad Garrett.
Yeah, Brad Garrett. That's it. Pat Garrett was a gunslinger, but
yeah, the violent stuff was good, and Dash, check out my sweet ride.
Yes,
I love that incredible car. Like wish it existed in real life. I would take all my money and buy it.
Although I gotta say, I loved the chase scene with Elastigirl on the Elastabike.
Stretching the two halves. Yeah.
Well, that was just. Honestly, it was like one of the most brilliant uses of stretching I've ever seen in a film. Everyone always poo-poos stretching as a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know why. Honestly, it really is an awesome power when you think about just being able to engulf things.
I just wonder about her potential because it seems like some of these scenes she gets stretched pretty far.
Well, they say in the first movie her capabilities, which are pretty like crazy. But you know how you can tell what the hardest thing for the animator to do was in this movie? It's the repetitiveness of it. So I'm assuming that her parachute thing took forever. So once they figured it out, they kept using it.
Yeah, a lot of parachutes.
Just like the first time, I forget what it was, but they kept using it over and over and over. And it turns out that was the hardest thing for the animators to do.
Well, yeah, but that's a really useful power to have.
Yes, I agree.
It's like, I need to not fall to my death, and I need to keep other people from falling to their death. But actually, the most perfect use of that, I thought, was when Elastigirl is falling, and she doesn't have time to do the shoot, and then Void puts the hole to put her higher up so the shoot will actually work. That I thought was brilliant because it's a team move, and it gives that moment, which is one of the things I think is really great about The Incredibles, is no hero ever single-handedly saves the day.
Yeah.
It's everybody working together because these threats are huge. And even though we have superpowers, they aren't enough to really solve the problem,
Well, I think that's why it always gets compared to like the Fantastic Four because of the whole team family thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's like the good sign of like writing any like super team. It's like, yeah, nobody, you don't want like one person like overshadowing everyone else.
Yes. You can't have your alpha just say, listen, this is how it is. Can't be like early Fantastic Four.
Although that is my favorite era, whatever.
Well, I liked it too. Because honestly, who doesn't like alpha male Reed Richards?
He is kind of a wussy as of late. I'm just saying.
Well, he started to like doubt himself because it's like, I am the smartest man in the room, but it actually isn't enough. Yeah, that was actually always the thing with Reed Richards. He actually was the smartest person in the universe, and he knew it, but he wasn't like braggy about it. Everyone else would call him the smartest man in the universe. He says, I'm just an explorer and a scientist. Here's the cure for acne.
And now we put the multiverse back together. Boom.
Yeah, well, of course. Okay, you're fine.
I am really excited though to see this universe grow and expand and what it can be because it's a really good movie. Like I liked it. I just like I said, it was just like 14 years. Holy crap.
Yeah. Well, no, and I get that. I get that, especially if you were waiting for it. And that's the thing. Like for me, I wasn't waiting for it because I was very satisfied by the first. And I figured if they ever got to another one, I would really enjoy it. And they did, and I did enjoy it. I actually do think the first one was better. Because again, I feel they rhymed a bit too much with it. That it has essentially the same style antagonist, the same structure of antagonist, and not enough, in my mind, universe building.
I don't know. They did open up the international thing, and they did bring in new heroes and things like that, and that whole potential thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's like obvious, and what's also interesting that obviously there have been heroes working underground this whole time because they all have costumes. They all, that even though they're not the big bold heroes, which makes you think that Edna knows about all of them.
Oh yeah. She's the glue that holds the universe together, as far as I'm concerned.
Edna, because people have probably been coming to Edna for costumes for long after it was done.
Well, I think after those 3 people died with the capes, they were just like, let's go to Edna because she believes in no capes.
Yeah, and how many of those people had capes?
0.
None. The closest was Screech, who had wings, but those might have actually just been his wings. That might not have been a costume. Just saying. But was that Harvey Fierstein voicing Screech? I don't know.
I don't think so. They made a way bigger deal.
Yeah.
Although Phil Lamar had 2, he was 2 of them. He was Crush Howard and Electrics. I love Phil Lamar though. He was just the best voice actor.
Oh, he was a what's his name?
Crusher and Helix, the guy with the little electricity powers.
Oh, Helix. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that was. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, Phil Lamar can play White. There you go.
Well, I mean, he's a voice actor. He's played White before.
Yes.
But my favorite is him as Martian Manhunter, obviously.
Oh, I've liked Phil Lamar and everything since Mad TV.
Me too. He can do no wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Phil Lamar is just a really great, talented guy, and yes.
You know what the best buddy cop movie would be? Is Phil Lamar and Orlando Jones. Like, I just miss their dynamic.
Yes.
I'm a huge Mad TV nerd, so.
No, I feel you. I can see that. I don't know if there should be buddy cops though.
If you want to spin something out of this universe, you know what you do. Get Phil Lamar as a character, and you team him up with Sam Jackson's Frozone.
Yeah, Frozone needs more to do. Like, I feel so bad. Like, I appreciate Samuel L. Jackson's work ethic because he just does what he likes. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, you want me in Star Wars? Well, you better make my lightsaber purple so I can see my stuff. Like, that's all he cared about. He's like,
well, again, like with both movies, he kind of comes in at the end, and a little talk, and then he shows up at the end and helps him. Like,
well, no, Frozone was all throughout this. I don't. Maybe I felt that there was a lot
all throughout it, but he's kind of like, I feel like he's a sidekick and not like a bona fide like part of the triumvirate. Is my problem with it?
Okay, did you guys stay for the whole credit sequence?
No, I don't have time. I got out of there like 12.
Oh, so you missed the theme songs?
Oh, they did the theme songs this time around?
Yeah, they did all 3 characters. And Frozone's was great. It's very, it's very like Bondy, but like maybe more like Shafty. It's but it's got that jazzy. It's like Frozen, and I was actually a little sad that Mr. Incredibles wasn't more Captain America-y, It was a lot more. It was more rocky than I was expecting, like show tuney. But Elastigirls was great. They did Elastigirls first, and they did Frozones, and then they wound it up with Mr. Incredible, pow pow pow, fighting the bad guy.
that was Chekhov's show tune, for sure. When he was singing it when they first met. So.
Yes, but it was great. No, but I thought Frozone had a lot to do in this. He is really essential in the actual saving of the day. You see that he's the guy who creates the, ice shields that slow the boat so that it doesn't kill millions of people. Oh, they actually, really, they all work together. I mean, one of the things I thought was great. I mean, I didn't think it was great at the time because I was thinking, well, that why no one suggested sending Jack through the pipes into the engine room since Jack
he's a baby.
Well, yes, obviously that's the reason. And he already broke the device that would let them guide him through. So, but I bet you that was on some draft there when they had. And by the way, I like what was his name? Krausbusher.
I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how he's not controlled anymore. Mr. Incredible's like, can't you like uncrush this? Like get the engine room?
Can you unpunch?
Yes, don't ask you to unpunch.
And I love the fact that he had such a strange accent.
I know, that's what I was like. Are they German or something?
Yeah, I think he was. Well, the name.
Yeah, well, or, you know, he could be from anywhere. He could be Wakandan. I don't know. You know,
I mean, there is an Afro-German community, so you know
there is an Afro-German community too. There's Africans, believe it or not, are actually all over the world.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like for people that actually don't know that. Yeah. But no, there is like a bit, well, not a bit, but there is one.
I actually thought it was possibly from Ukraine or Russia, but by the accent. But yeah, no, he was a great character. Brick was neat because I wasn't sure if Brick was a woman or not. There was a lot of gender fluidity in this. I don't know if anyone else felt that, which I thought is a great thing. And it's one of these things where with Disney where they have that gender fluidity. They won't say it out front, but you really feel it's there, which I know maybe isn't that much to a lot of people, but you know, I noticed it, and I could imagine if I was someone in that group, which I actually do count myself to be, it would actually be kind of nice to see that kind of thing.
I know I heard Brick. I know you wouldn't, Charlie, but Lilith, did you just think, oh, Green Arrow villain?
Right? And I was just like, the guy that started the whole thing by killing Malcolm Merlin's wife, how dare you?
Wait, what?
Literally, that's what I was thinking. I'm so mad the whole time. Like,
Brick in the Green Arrow universe?
Danny Brickwell, yeah. And
okay,
then his stud name is Brick.
Like a brick house?
In the comics.
Yeah, it's played by Vinnie Jones. So
well,
yeah,
in the comics, there's a brick, and he's actually made of like brick, like stone. Yeah. Okay.
Well, anyway, but this Brick, who was maybe not the brightest Brick among the group, but it was a very interesting thing they were doing with Brick's chest plate that made me think: is that supposed to be a female or is that supposed to be a male? And I like the not knowing. You know,
I just wonder with like like stone characters is like, does it matter? Are they like anatomically correct?
Well, is the thing anatomically correct? Kind of, sort of. But
let's go to our expert.
You know, first off, some do lose their genitalia, some do not. Usually, if they lose their genitalia, they don't have pants. If they're still wearing pants, that means they probably still have genitalia
of some sort.
Yeah, well, this is what I've said. You know, there was actually a very interesting, I think it's non-canonical. It has to be a little non-canonical Thing miniseries about him hooking up with this girl who was, she was a landscape artist, and basically she had this thing for rocks, as it were. Yes, exactly. Her ex-boyfriend was the Absorbing Man. And there's this whole thing where the Frightful Four are attacking Ben Grimm, and then basically the Absorbing Man basically kills the Wizard and Sandman, although obviously we know the Wizard doesn't die, but we also know the Wizard has lots of clones, which led me to my theory that the Wizard dies all the time, and that just keeps on cloning himself. That's my fan theory. And
how prestige of you.
Yeah. Well, you know, he is the Wizard. But the idea in it is that, you know, she is having a sexual relationship with Benjamin Grimm. This was like a rated M book with Ben Grimm. And so
as you do.
As you do. So yeah, I think he's fully anatomically correct. Now there was a character in the X-Men who was like a mud rock being. I forget his name, and he did not have that. Did not wear pants. And I remember he spoke with Metal in a crossover with Young Avengers, not Young Avengers, Avengers Academy, where the guy basically says to him, you know, because he's like, "Oh, who's ever going to love me as a big metal thing?" And he says, "Hey, you still got your junk?" He says, "Yeah, I still got my junk." He says, "Well, count yourself lucky."
Well, anytime I think of like big rock creatures, they're gender neutral because of Futurama. Like, Futurama has ruined me on that whole thing.
Yeah. So, well, was the what was it? Was it the Paul Salt kid or?
Well, the not the guy with the cowboy hat, but the original guy he made them all like, you know, nothing.
He made them all gender neutral, but it wasn't said that he was gender neutral or she was.
Yeah, his species was though.
Oh, his species.
No man or woman. It was just one. So
yeah, I don't know if hoarders are gender neutral or not either, but they lay eggs.
Okay, Philip, back to the movie.
Yes. Oh, I recently realized where Help is from. That's actually from the new Life Call commercials. Am I correct on that, Phil?
I don't know. It's just part of an app. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I believe that's the help that when the guy who falls in the park, he says, "Help! I've fallen in the park and I can't get up." So I believe that's his help.
Oh.
Help!
Yes.
I know the meme. I can see the meme in my head on my Tumblr dashboard.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, well, because I watch a lot of MeTV, and there's a lot of commercials for old people on it.
As you do.
As you do. Well, you know what?
MeTV and Fox News.
That's the other thing that kind of suggests that. Oh, and actually, it can't be in the 60s. Well, actually, when did Johnny Quest come out? I think Johnny Quest didn't come out to the 70s.
Well, really?
Yeah, sure? I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Johnny Quest did not come out to the 70s.
Because it is the late. It's like 68, 69. Let me see. Hold on. I feel like Johnny Quest. Really, the 70s? I
really think he didn't come out until the 70s. I think that was he was late Hanna-Barbera, so I think it was the early 70s. But you do have a lot of these things in rerun all the time. So, you know, she's looking up when Johnny Quest premiered. So, but we did get Johnny Quest in here, and
yeah, that was pretty cool. I was just like, how did they get their rights to that?
Johnny Quest.
Actually, that is amazing. They did, because that is actually Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I know. That's like, well, you know, but this whole story is actually kind of a love story to Superman because of the Metro. Like Brad Bird has a thing for Superman, so
yeah. Obviously, there was a lot of talk, and they said, "Okay, you can use some old Johnny Quest clips."
The franchise started with a 1964-1965 television series.
Oh, okay. So there we go. So my bad. Okay, so I mean, yeah, everything could be in the 60s, or it's just they watch a lot of MeTV. You know, that's the flip side to it, is that they just watch a lot of old TV shows because people like old TV shows.
Like I said, I think they throw in old stuff, new stuff, just so it's like
might be
timeless.
Anachrastic.
Exactly.
Or they're a little bit tech forward, or they're in an alternate universe where it's
well, I mean, the alternate universe thing is my basic take. It's like, this is a universe with superheroes and super science. So not for nothing. If you have superheroes running around, most of your cars are going to look like 1950s roadsters, because they're going to be these heavy.
They need to be able to take the pounding of all the.
You need a car that can deal with, you know, giant robots walking around. You know,
I agree.
You know, I mean, there's just that much simplicity.
There's nothing like a Thunderbird.
And if you I love a Thunderbird. They brought those back recently.
Yeah,
I know. I love the new ones as much as the old. They're so beautiful.
I know something about those lines though on an old one. The tailgate.
Well, yeah.
Old cars are the best, man. They might not be as safe, but they are beautiful.
You know, my problem with old cars is that you actually are expected to maintain them.
Yeah,
I don't want to maintain a car. I just want to drive it.
This is the thing about new cars with all their newfangled electric. Old cars, you can actually you can work on it yourself. It was made for you to be able to work on it yourself. That's kind of the difference.
I mean, if I had a beater old car like that, I would drive it all the time. You know, and I would replace the carburetor and do all that kind of stuff. I'd do all that kind of crazy. That's the kind of guy I am. But I don't want one that's like all pristine and new, because then I'm expected to maintain
that, baby. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, I don't got time for that, man. That's why I drive beater cars in general. It's like, if I wanted a car I had to wash, I would not buy a car that was held together by the rust and dust. You know, just saying. That's me. That's how I approach my cars. I love cars, but I also don't. Cars are like pets. They are a lot of work. And, you know, you got to, you know, I am very comfortable driving a car until it dies. I don't have pets because I don't think I'd be as comfortable having a pet until it dies. I have children only because...
They'll outlive you.
Hopefully, you know.
Unless you find that infinity formula.
I mean, that's the great fear of any parent, is that, you know, you'll have to care for your child, or that your child won't outlive you. It's, you know... Yeah. And that's terrifying enough. I don't have enough time in my life for a car I have to actually care for in that way. I care for my cars. Don't get me wrong. I love my cars. I'm actually very, very much infused into the talisman of my cars, you know. But I can't have a pet for just that reason. It's like me and the wildlife of my apartment. Me and them, we're like roomies, and it's symbiotic. But I'm not going to actually have a pet, you know.
That's what we need for the next movie, a super pet. The raccoon comes back and becomes part of the family. I love that raccoon scene. Oh my God.
That raccoon scene was fantastic.
Oh my Lord. Yeah.
He's like, he sees the bad guy on the movies and then he sees the raccoon with the little bit. And he's like, he narrows his eyes in the classic way and it's on.
Yeah. Although, man, that honestly, I just feel so bad for that raccoon. And it kind of makes
He came to the wrong house.
He came to the wrong house, but it's like, man, it's like you think about these guys with guns at the end, and it's like you're about to get stomped on by living gods, you know, by bulletproof people who can bend your car in half, you know, and they may not kill you, but you'd be surprised what you can survive.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Yeah. But they were doing crimes in a world without supers, man. This ain't fair.
I mean, forget supers. I mean, you just interrupted a teenage girl's date. you in trouble.
I was actually surprised she went with her family.
I know. I thought she was going to be like, okay, you guys go.
Yeah, well,
I like being a superhero. Don't get it.
And I think they like that end credits, that last scene with, you know, everyone suiting up, just like in the first movie.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's what you do in the next one, and you find out that these seemingly basic villains they're gonna steal from Spider-Man suddenly have some kind of crazy zero
tech to keep up with. Yeah,
they're so basic.
You know, because Syndrome lived.
In fact, there's another Syndrome out there. You know, somebody that's selling the tech to the bad guys. You know.
Well, maybe Mirage, you know, and actually that was a point that was made, is that all of that tech, all of that money, that's a major corporation. Syndrome might be evil, but there are stockholders and investors. All that stuff still exists, and Mirage would be the likely person to wind up in charge of it. So if Syndrome is dead, maybe Mirage is plotting her revenge from her secret tower. I
can just hear Charlie in the movie theater. You're funding superheroes. You know how many schools you could have built? Mr. Wayne, I mean,
well, no, Mr. Wayne. No, let me say, let's not get twisted about this. The problem with Batman is that it's a vanity project. If Batman was funding a team of heroes,
like
if he was basically like Tony Stark funded the Avengers, wrote these checks so that we could have this defense force against galactic threats. Batman's just being Batman.
He put together the Justice League and he had Batman Incorporated. I'm just saying.
Well, eventually he had Batman Incorporated. When he thought he was going to die, he said, well, I guess I have to get somebody else to help.
He gives orphans life projects. Go beat that guy.
That could die and get beat to death with a crowbar, but you know, potato.
Let's not get twisted up. He is not a good parent.
You get your parents if you live through this.
Alfred apparently raised him at this point.
If using your children as human shields is bad.
Uh-oh.
Luke and
Ron? I'm not.
I'm just going to say, Plucky Duck had it right when he did the Duck Night and had Hampton be decoy the boy hostage with a big target on his brightly colored costume.
Nice Tiny Toons reference.
Yeah, she says, why do you wear so dark? So I can blend in the shadows and not be sight. So why is my costume so colorful? Don't worry about it, decoy the boy hostage.
The tights were Kevlar, plot twist.
Well, it is what it is. But hey, good on Warner Brothers being able to laugh at itself sometimes.
Definitely.
Just not in its movies.
Why did you say that name?
What is up with that? It's like Warner's has such a great love of its own work in anything that's cartooned. and maybe it's television stuff too. I don't know. It seems popular. But it seems like once they go onto a big screen, they get very serious about everything.
Because
Superman Returns would like to have a word with you.
I mean,
I'm sorry, what?
Superman Returns, starring Brandon Roth, would like to have a word with you.
That was actually pretty dark too. I mean, Superman's a deadbeat dad.
It's the 2000s. Men suck. What do you expect? Even Superman sucks. That was the point of that movie. Did you not get that?
Well, the actual implication was that he didn't know she was pregnant when he left. Had he known,
no, if you're supposed to watch the Donner cut, then he does kind of technically know, and he's still just a deadbeat dad. But anyway.
That's just DC's problem. They want superheroes on the screen. Marvel gives you people.
There you go.
That's debatable, but whatever. That's a debate.
Well, super people, but people are still the same.
The world backs me up, Lil.
I'm just going to say...
the world.
2 billion. 2 billion?
Well,
Infinity War crossed 2 billion.
Well, that's $2 billion, not 2 billion people. It's a difference.
Might as well be
I mean, movie tickets are like $15, so you do the math on that one.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so it was a neat film. I felt it rhymed too much with the first. I felt they really could have. I really felt there should have been more Underminer. I was actually a little disappointed that Underminer's plan was to rob a bank.
Right? It's like you built that whole thing to rob a bank.
Yeah,
that's a little overkill. Like
unless he stole it from somebody. I know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even know if the money he got out of the bank is going to pay for that whole drill monster thing.
Exactly.
Which he then leaves and takes out in the escape drill pod.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like that. I don't think your profit loss statement was very good on that Underminer. That's all I'm saying. I think that you actually lost money on this entire adventure. I would love to see the meeting with Underminer's investors saying, Underminer.
Well, I mean, if the Incredibles hadn't shown up, maybe he would have robbed a couple more banks and then it would have paid for itself.
Well, yeah, but you know, that's the problem. And it's not like he doesn't know the Incredibles are back because they were just back.
Like that day, the poor thing in his bad time.
A couple weeks ago. No, it was a couple weeks later. The Incredibles had returned a couple weeks later, but you know, then again,
they're still outlawed. So you know,
and honestly, he didn't know they were going to be right there when he popped out of the ground. Maybe he thought he could get in and out before they showed up. You know,
but then maybe you shouldn't have come out of the ground to announce yourself.
That's true.
I mean, why don't you come under the bank? Like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Underminer.
You're the Underminer, but he wanted to announce himself.
There aren't.
He's a villain. Villains have a little ticky boom. They need to be recognized.
There are no subtle supervillains.
Yeah, this is true.
I would like to have a word with you, though.
What? Who?
Lex Luthor is subtle in some incarnations.
Oh,
nowadays he is. Nowadays,
like I said, some incarnations he is subtle.
Basically, John Byrne decided he'd be subtle. John Byrne decided he would be subtle and made him a billionaire who had investments he had to worry about.
Well, like I said, me personally, I think the best subtle Lex Luthor is from Lois and Clark.
Lex became president of the United States. Yeah, subtle.
Well, but
he set a precedent.
Never elect a supervillain president.
Trump wishes he was as smart as Lex. I'm just saying.
Not for nothing. Although, for what it's worth, there is the argument that Trump didn't think he would win either, and Lex Luthor didn't think he would win. He just did it to tick off Superman. And when he actually won, he's like, "Oh, now I have to be president."
It's the Garrison from South Park as well. Like, ooh, now I have to do something.
Yeah, or Simpsons did it better when Homer ran for sanitation commissioner.
Oh, yeah, that's an old one.
Oh, that's a classic one with his classic line. Can't somebody else do it?
America summed up.
All right. Are we done? We're talking. We're going down the rabbit hole.
Let's wrap it up. Is there any other news you want to talk about real quick, though, Phil?
I don't think so. We touched on the Hardwick stuff. I don't know. Anything else anyone has?
Well, we already did our comic book spiel for the week, so.
Yeah, because you and I reviewed Domino. Charlie and I did some comics yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're good. I think we can wrap this baby up.
The Smallfoot looks neat.
The what?
I'll just say Smallfoot. Oh, you didn't get that trailer?
Oh yeah. With the Yetis, yeah.
Yes. The Yetis who think about the myth of Smallfoot, you know.
To the Yetis, humans are a legend.
Exactly.
Oh, I know the movie that you're referencing. Okay.
It looks cute, and 2 films with screaming goats, and like trailers where they have screaming goats. That screaming goat meme. That is.
Well,
the corporations are very late on that screaming goat meme. I mean, I saw that like 3 years ago on Tumblr.
Yeah.
Lilith, he has a movie pass now. He doesn't have to be as discerning.
I do not. I can.
Well, I'm not going to be discerning. I'm actually going to go see Ocean's 8 tomorrow. So.
Oh, that's
I love Sandra Bullock though. So like, I ride for Sandra. Like. So
I actually really want to see that. I love a good heist film.
It's not going to be good, but like I said, I ride for Sandra.
No. Oh no! Something tells me Tristan's going to see Ocean's 8 instead of Incredibles 2.
No. Tristan's going to see Incredibles 2. Why would Tristan see Ocean's 8? He has no interest in heist films.
I'm sorry, Charlie. What was I thinking?
It's a heist film. It's a sequel to the
I watch him say, "Yeah, let's go."
It's got Rihanna in it.
The kids
he doesn't know.
It's got Lupita in it too. So you know. Wait, no.
Now you're just making things up.
Yeah.
That's the
I've
movie.
heard it's okay. You know. But I like a good heist.
I just hope it's not like the last Ghostbusters. That's all that I hope for.
Oh, I didn't mind the parts I saw of that.
That it can stand on its own in the franchise without just we're girls. That's all that I
don't think that was the theme of the new Ghostbusters.
I do.
They kind of pushed it. I don't know.
It was a terrible
pushing it.
Regardless.
Well, then I from what I heard, you may really hate Ocean's 8 because there it is apparently thematic to it that no one pays attention to women, so we make great thieves.
I mean, we do make the best shoplifters, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, well, it's basically just shoplifting.
Jewels, pretty sparkly jewels. But like I said, I'm here for Sandra.
All right, let's get out of here.
Shameless plugs.
Criminal record. Who has a sealed criminal record? Lilith Hellfire. Where can people get a hold of you?
No sealed criminal records. You got to be smart and not get caught. So if you guys are listening in time, I am live tweeting the Supergirl season finale, June 18th. That's this Monday. Please join me, support Supergirl because she is going to need it as she is going to be on Sundays for the fall. So yeah, get on it at Lilith Hellfire.
That's what we didn't mention. Netflix picked up Lucifer for another season.
I'm so happy for the Lucifer fans, and I do want to see the resolution of Chloe knowing. Mm-hmm. So, are they do we know if they're keeping all the same people? Are they going to be rewriting any of the scripts?
I don't know if they made that announcement, but
I mean, are they going to get rid of those 2 episodes that we saw?
I don't know. I think they said it was going to be like a shorter. Was it like
13 episodes, probably 10,
something like that?
They're probably going to resolve the problems and then see if people like it, and then they'll do more.
Exactly. So yeah. If you guys are also on Monday, June 18th, check out my website, Somebody Save Me, podcast.net, because .com was taken. And you can check me out if you love Superman, Smallville, and swearing. Save Me Podcast, Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram.
I'm surprised you didn't go with .org, but or you could have done save.me.
No. Nobody types that in. That you got it. It's either net or .com. Like net is still really super rare nowadays. So
okay. Anyway, Phil, you didn't mention something else that's going on June 18th, if I recall.
What?
Isn't there an interview?
Oh yes, with Kelly Thompson.
Yes, thank you.
Monday's going to be a busy day.
Busy day all around. Anyway, yeah. So tune in because would that be live streamed or is that?
Yeah. Google Hangouts.
Yeah, right here.
Okay. I'm trying to help you, Phil. Build this audience.
Thank you, everyone. Hit the bell on YouTube. You'll be notified, just like when you follow Toxin Gamer.
Yes, good old Toxin Gamer. Everyone loves him.
Big chat.
Anyway, yes, and again, Phil also hasn't mentioned that he is award-winning podcaster, Philip Parrish. Or maybe he's too modest, but he'll get to that in a minute. But if you would like
No,
to
he's
listen
going to change the bar starting next week. Don't you even worry about it.
to award-winning podcast
write that down.
Of the award-winning Capes and Lunatics podcast. But if you would like to talk to me, write to me at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And follow me as I live tweet Cloak and Dagger. Wow. Thursdays at 8. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEssesscr. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality.
Yes, follow Charlie Esser live.
Podcaster Philip Parrish. Take it away.
I was gonna say, and Charlie Esser, follow his live tweets because one of the actors on Cloak and Dagger liked one of his tweets. So
Gary, he's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Way better, better lawyer than Matt Murdock. That's all I'm saying.
Not hard to do. Not hard to do.
Ooh.
Well, it's not hard to be a better lawyer than Matt Murdock. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yes, that's right. I am Phil Parrish, one of the podcasters on this award-winning podcast that we won from Indie PopCon for Best Comic Podcast. You could write to us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter @CapesLunatics. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And if you're a famous person, if you're a creator, if you would love the honor of talking to us, you can always email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. And on Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp.
Thank you, Gelman.
You're welcome, Reach.
That makes you Kelly, by the way. Sorry.
I am so lucky to be Kelly.
He's pretty enough.
Kelly, I would be Kathy Lee. Honestly, how am I the one losing out in this? Really?
All right. Well, anyway, Regis and Kelly, for another week, we have been the Incredibles. No, we have been the Capes
And
the Lunatics.
The award-winning.
Although it should really be singular because I'm literally the only lunatic on this podcast. So
I don't know. Some of these people shift allegiances. Look at that guy in the box next to you.
I wore my Incredible shirt. I dressed for today.
I had a red shirt on. We all had a red shirt on. We had a good thing going. Although I think that's a Flash shirt. I won't say anything.
I don't have an Incredible shirt. I'm not rolling large like Charlie. That's it.
It was on sale.